Right, this is a 2015 Volkswagen Passat 1.6, and I'm just about to remove the front coil spring off it and replace it. So it's a DIY job, so there's no car lifts or anything involved. So as you can see there, that's what we're working with, and we're just going to go around to the front because it's quite easy. Obviously we've lifted the bonnet, and if you just look here behind the strut that holds up your bonnet, you'll see this little clip here. We'll just remove that. That just pulls out with your hand. What we're going to do now is I have an old piece of 2x1. We're just going to lift up this piece of a panel here, and we're going to push that 2x1 in here, and we'll get access into them bolts. So now our next job that we're going to do is we're going to take off that wheel. This will help anyone who doesn't have the proper lifting equipment. We'll be just using a trolley jack and a jack stand. Okay, as you can see, we've removed the wheel. So what we're going to do, we're going to have to disconnect the tie rod end, the drop link, and we'll be pushing that out the way, but I'll be cleaning off these threads here with a wire brush. We're going to remove this little bracket. I'm sorry, I'm struggling here, the sun is blinding, which is a good problem, I suppose. I'm going to take out this little nut here. I'll remove that bracket out the way, which will give me more room because these pipes will be out the way. And then I'm going to be cleaning this off with a wire brush, and we'll be taking out this. This is a size 18 mil. The little one here is a size 10 mil spanner, and drop link is a size 19. And we'll be putting in a little hex screw or a hex fit in there just to get it out, just to steady this so we don't ruin that drop link. And as you can see, like, this is busted. You can see, well, I think it might be broken anyway. Yeah, right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up these. I'm going to remove that bolt and the 2 bolts below, and we're not going to touch. There's 3 size 13s that hold the top of the shock up into position. We're not going to hold them. You can just see them up there. We're going to leave them into position because this won't be going on a jack. This we're doing on the floor, and I actually need those bolts up there to hold this into position for me. I'll be actually jacking and knocking this out of position. I'm going to put a piece of penetrating oil in here just to leave it work its way in, and we'll flick this back on once I remove this, the 3 nuts or the 2 nuts, because I always maneuver these a little bit just to get them to move. So back on again in a few minutes. Right, okay, now you can see that we've cleaned off as much the dust off the threads. The reason I've put that on there, that's actually a T30, which will hold this from spinning, and we'll be able to get that nut out. But what I'm going to do is we're just going to add a bit of penetrating oil to each of those. Just make sure if you're doing this on a windy day that it doesn't blow back onto the brakes. The last thing you want is oil going into them brake pads and having a chemical reaction. It will break down the asbestos on them, or what the makeup is. Now we'll just leave that work for half an hour, or not even half an hour. I'm just stopping for a cigarette, but we'll leave that just work away, and you'll be surprised if this goes well how actually easy this is to do on the ground with not really many special tools. I think the only tool that some people might not have will be the compression tool to put on the new spring. But anyway, we'll keep going and we'll see how we get on. So as you can see, we're just going to leave the oil do its work. This here, I think we can see it from, yeah, I'm not actually sure what size that is. So what I do is this is a big, or this is the bigger bit. I get one of these small little flathead screwdriver bits, put it in there and hold this steady, and it actually works good. Yeah, that is the one. I'll just pinch a vice grips onto this, and that will hold that steady while I back off the nut off the other end. If I can see what the size on that, I'll tell you now what it is. I think that says, oh, sorry, that's my dog bouncing off my arm. It's S2SL12. It's just a regular flathead, but it's perfect for putting them in there, and it'll hold it in position for you. So that's all the tools I think we need. See, in under here I have the stand just in under the wishbone there. What we're now going to do is I'm going to put this bar, will drop straight through there, and I'm going to actually jack this up. I'll be putting a tea towel around that to stop it from getting damaged. With the trolley jack, I'm going to jack that up, and then I'm going to tap this down with a piece of steel. So I'm just going to get the trolley jack and this bar in position, and you'll see exactly what I mean. Now, I hope you can see, I have, yeah, that's the trolley jack. I have this piece of inch, it's just regular inch steel, and I just have a tea towel there and down the back just to prevent that shock from being damaged. So we're just going to jack up a small bit. You can just see that lifting. Now, I hope you can see that lifting. Now we're just going to leave it at there. What I'm now going to do is I have a piece of heavy steel here, as you can see, I hope. Dog, stop. That will be going here, and we will be banging this down. This will pop through. Now, the little jimmy bar that I have is just, it's not wide enough. So what I've done there, that's an old skinny bicycle spanner. So I've just put that now in behind it, because I just need that opened fractionally. And if we can balance the phone there, we just give this a couple of taps down. That's enough. Zeus, go away, dog. Now, this is where we're going to put our piece of steel and give it a few smacks of the hammer. Constantly checking the space here. Like, that's already moved up, I don't know whether you can see it, but that was the line. But we've moved it up that much. Maybe I pushed it in too far. So we'll just keep tapping away at this for a second. We're just making sure that when nothing's obstructing us constantly, because we don't want to do more damage or any damage. Now, Zeus. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to jack that bar again. Zeus, move. As you can see now, the shock going up another fraction. So we're just going to go same again, and we'll tap it down. Whenever you feel any resistance or you feel like that's not moving, just give that another 1 or 2 pumps on the jack and go again. And getting them back in isn't that hard either. That's about to pop now, so when we're that close, that is actually about to pop out. I'm surprised. Oh yeah, there's that little piece. What I am going to do now, hopefully I should jack this and it should just pop out. It's possible it'll pull this way. That's why we released these, so we had room. Just in case, but even if it does move, it should only move a fraction. Zeus, move. No, we'll give it another tap here at the back. There you go. So, as you can see now, we are using nothing special whatsoever. Now what we're going to do, as you can see, we're going to clean in here now. I have a drill there with a little round wire brush. Go through there and we'll just clean that. We'll put a small bit of oil in it then, because that shock's going back on. And then we have to release these 3 bolts and hopefully it'll drop out. And once I get that, I'll show you then. I'll just put on the new coil spring onto it. But as you can see now, the shock's off. It was only the 3 bolts and it dropped straight out. But I just want to show you something here. If you look around here, you'll just see like this nipple or dimple, whatever you want to refer to it as. When you're fitting the shock, that goes towards the engine side. If you have that in another position, this is not going to line up right, and you'll have terrible problems because the shock itself isn't going to sit in. So just bear in mind that that should be on the inside. If you look now, that's that little nipple, and if you just, that's roughly in line with the bracket that holds the drop link. So this has to be replaced. So now we're gonna put the coil compressors on and we're gonna take that spring off. So we'll do that now. Now as you can see, like these are the coil compressors, and I have one, that's how they sit onto the spring, and that's a size 22 mil. So we're just going to clamp that down and get this off. This nut then has to be removed, and we will be sticking in Allen key into that just to hold the inside from twisting, and we'll get off this nut as well. So this here, the nut is a size 21 mil, and I just have an Allen key shoved through the centre of that. We'll just crack that open and get that off, and we can replace the new top mount. Right, so now we're going to fit the shock back in. We're only going to put this here just to line up the holes. It just makes life easier. What we want to do is put our shock in over the cables. Just let it drop down there with plenty of room. This is just to line up the hole, because once we get these down a few turns on the threads, we'll be grand. We can drop that out then. I can do that. Zoom's going. They're only just hand tightened in, so they're happy enough for these. As you can see now, we just have a ratchet strap. We've put the 3 bolts in, hand tightened only. we're going to bring our ratchet strap in around here. There is very little pressure that goes onto this, and all that we want to do is keep that roughly in line. So now what we're going to do is, yep, we're just going to give this 1 or 2 tightens. We don't want a huge amount of pressure on this now. Now, we're going to put our bar in behind the pipes and the hoses, and we're going to jack that up. So now we're going to jack that up, and we have the an old drop link there just keeping this in line. So now release some of that pressure off that. Go on, just release a small piece. Jack it up another fraction. Hold it. So we're going to jack away there. Just try and... Hold on, 1 second. Now what we want to do is just make sure that's in line, which it is. We're just going to move our jack across here, making sure to avoid the bolts that are there. Now we're just going to put a small bit of weight now. If you can just get around the back there, they can see them. If you can, when I move this, they'll be able to see. Here. You should see now that that has just dropped straight into the receiver, as we'd call it. Now we can take off our orange strap, which is no longer needed. We can take out that old broken bar. We'll drop our jack, and we have a bit of steel or a piece of wood there to put in. Now we're just doing this to avoid damaging the threads of the nuts that are there, and actually push that up into position. Now what we're going to do, we've pushed it up another fraction. Now you just heard that drop into position. just want to make sure that our tab's gone all the way down, which no, it's not all the way down. So we're going to drop the jack. I should actually be using a stronger piece of wood than this. As you can hear that now, that should be down. Yeah, that's down now where it should be. Now what we're going to do is we will put this bolt back through, just hand tighten that, and now it's just a matter of connecting up the tie rod again. We'll just push down now. Sorry, I can't actually see. So literally now I'm just gonna put that nut back in here, which is holding on that bracket. This is going to be tightened up, this is going to be tightened up, our three on the top are going to be tightened up, and that's basically the job done. And we're going to just connect our hose back in there. There's only a clip that keeps them in. Sorry, that's the wrong way. That just gets pushed in like that, that gets snapped back into place, and that's job done. I hope this has helped someone anyway. Oh, we just make sure that it sits up. That's only the boot, but we can sort that out now in a second. But as you can see, like, there's not really too much to it, and there's no actual special tools, no nothing. There's no disconnecting drive shafts, and just take your time. There's no point in rushing the job and making mistakes, like, because when I did get off this shock absorber, it's a friend of mine's car, and he didn't get a top mount, and it was absolutely in bits, so I had to send him away to get one, and luckily enough he got one while the weather was fine, so we came back out and fitted it this evening. But I'd say in total this job took an hour, and you would manage it on your own. The reason I was struggling, I was trying to use the camera as well. I have a dog next to me who's driving me around a twist. Come here. There. Go and find your stones. Hopefully anyway this will help someone. This actually works. This system here is the same setup on AUDI, Volkswagen. Most of the German vehicles seem to have this setup here, and this method will actually work on them all. And that's my hammer. So as I said, I hope this helps someone. I'm sorry about the video, but it's the best I could do, and hopefully it will help someone. So good luck. Don't be frightened to take the job on yourself. Handy enough.